Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. My name's Stephanie, and today we are going to be window shopping HellaHandmade creations this month. So HellaHandmade, or HHC for short, is another monthly pre-order marketplace. It takes place during a whole week, so it's a little bit longer than PPU, and every month, every brand has their own specific theme. Though I believe this month we are going to see some holiday contributions from some of the brands, not all of them. And yeah, I will save more of my thoughts for the end. For now, let's just browse the website. Okay, so here is the website for HHC this month. As usual, it is open from the 14th through the 21st. So let's look at the first two rows here. And polish wise, I would say the only one that I think I'm interested in or that I like the most here is the all mixed up "'Tis the Season to Get Crafty," but it's also very familiar to Fauve's Viva la Vida, being that brighter berry kind of color. If anything, I think the shimmer in this is a lot softer. It doesn't look quite as glowy as the Fauve, but the base color I think is close enough. Oh my gosh, is this a mini bottle or... Yeah, right? That has to be a mini. It looks so tiny. But okay, anyway. Yeah, it's a cute shade, but not one that I need. And I actually, I kind of do like the other all mixed up here, this dark purple sort of shimmer. But again, there's something about the shimmer being very understated. I mean, I like how it looks in this photo here, but I don't know, in the other photos, it just doesn't really read quite as well. I mean, here it looks pretty nice. I don't need another dark purple shimmer. I don't think I really have one quite like this, but it's tempting, but we can just admire it from afar. And honestly, we can just kind of keep moving from here. You know what, let's just go to the next two rows to see more of the polish. The Arcana, this is giving me Island Peace Flower Child, maybe Mooncat's Moonrise, which isn't around, though this does have an extra kind of micro glitter going on, so there's a bit more visual texture, and maybe it's a bit of a deeper base, like less of that bright bubblegum pink. Now I'm wondering with how textured this looks, because I can see there's some flakies in here, I feel like the finish almost reminds me of a Psyche Minerals or something. So it's pretty, but nothing we haven't seen before. And yeah, I'm not really interested in anything else. I mean, this BCB, I hate the AM, I hate the PM, I hate labels. This one is kind of giving, Mooncat's, what is it? Love Bomb, I think, but this is a bit darker, but kind of in that same vibe, although this does have reflective glitter. I feel like it's a simple enough finish that we've probably seen, other polishes even more similar to this. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a Linby that's similar to this. So yeah, I'm just not really feeling anything else here, so we can move on. And from here, I mean, yeah, I guess the only one that's like kind of interesting is this Danny Viana, which I was gonna say like, oh, maybe this could be a dupe or, like an alternative to Mooncat's The Silent Scream that just came out, but it looks a little different color-wise. Yeah, the magnetic is a light purple as opposed to a true silver, so it almost has this blue kind of hue. I mean, I guess it's technically purple, but it's just slightly different, not as deep of a true black base. So, oh, and there's graphite reflective glitters. I did not see that in here at all. Are there any photos with flash? I mean, this one, I guess you can see it in there. So it's an interesting shade, but not one that I really care about. So, we can just keep moving. And finally, there are some shades here that are piquing my interest. I would say the one that draws my eye the most is the Cleona Glass Squid. Oh, I love a glowy ethereal blue that looks so pretty. I would say the closest, at least that I have to this, is Cracked Polish's O-Type Star, but I feel like it is pretty different, where I don't know. I mean, at first, like my first impression is that the Cleona is a little bit more glowy. There also looks like, yeah, there's a little micro glitter, kind of, a dainty hollow going on. The Cracked is a pure shimmer. So this does have a little bit of, visual texture. But as far as the shimmer, the base, it seems like a little more glowy, right? Or maybe I wonder if it's the shade of shimmer, like the shade of blue in Cleona is just much brighter, like it's more of that aqua kind of color, while in Cracked it's a deeper, like, kind of cobalt blue, where it's still very intense, obviously, but just a darker shade of blue. Oh man, I really, really like this one. It's definitely giving familiar vibes though. Like it seems, simple enough. Like we've seen this sort of combination or shimmery base before, but it's just so pretty. Oh, I could just keep looking at this for hours, but I won't. And then I kind of, was like looking at the Cracked for a second, Cursed Cranberry, but I was like, I feel like that's one of those shades of pink that I don't totally love on me. I wonder how similar this would be to Sweeter the Juice, their one jelly, because it looks kind of similar to that, but obviously this has a shimmer. So I feel like, maybe layering something over it could give a similar vibe. Oh my god, these photos here, where it looks a bit darker, more purpley and less pink, this is giving me Cirque's Wildberry West, which I love. So, but I think in most other photos it does lean a bit more pink, which is really nice. But yeah, I basically have something like it, so we don't need it. And the other Cracked here, this one it looks so much like Charred, which I'm pretty sure is still around. I think that one only came out last Halloween. This is a smoky gray kissed with silver shimmers. Okay, so it's just a shimmer type of, like, not metallic, but there's no holographic sparkle is what I'm trying to say. And Charred, if I remember correctly, is a linear hollow or maybe a scattered. So it's kind of like the sister shade to that. It's pretty, but I really do like Charred. I think this is going to be too dark to compare to like Mooncat's Outlaw Country, for example. This honestly kind of looks like Apparition in a way, but like unmagnetized, or maybe with a velvet effect, but not really, because obviously the velvet effect is so dynamic and pretty, but it's a nice shade, but I can skip it. And the only other one that's like kind of interesting but like not enough to get is the Colores Carol holiday duo Slay What and Oh Snow You Didn't. Love the names, but as far as the polishes, I mean, again, I appreciate this duo thing that she's doing, although I wish they were also sold individually. But I don't love this duo as much as the Halloween one from last month. I think the flakies in this, I guess, are just not really speaking to me. So yeah, we can just keep going to the next two rows here. And speaking of Cracked, I feel like this first Dom Golden is kind of immediately reminding me of Crack's Morning Light. Maybe the yellow shimmer in this is a lot stronger. Like some of these photos look, yeah, like pure gold, but then in certain angles you can see the gray underneath. So, similar vibe, but definitely don't need it. And as far as the polishes on the bottom row go, I mean, I think the Elb is beautiful, but it's just kind of a gold linear hollow, which we've seen before. And then sadly, the Garden Path shades are not really speaking to me. Like, I love the base in Cranberry Embers, but this teal, blue, oh, actually green. Okay, the green micro glitter, it's not, I don't know, it's just kind of not doing it for me. Okay, you can't tell me that does, like, there's teal in there, right? It's like green and blue, but I get that it's for the holidays. It makes sense, but I don't like it. I'm so sorry. So we can just keep going, and okay, this is body care, so we'll keep moving. Oh, okay, from here, the Hula Moon, wait a minute, hold on. Magic Grits. This is so pretty. I mean, obviously it shines the most in like indirect light, but it doesn't look that bad, you know, here in direct, or I guess bright indirect lighting. But when you're in lower lighting, oh my god, yeah, like these shots, oh my god, that is so pretty. Obviously I'm so tempted because it's just giving me magical fire opal vibes. And even though I've been feeling so weird with the flakies, I feel like these flakies aren't that bad. I guess in these photos you can see more of that like slight visual texture, right? This makes me want to peel off my nails. I'm so sorry, that's so graphic, but I don't know, like in these photos I feel like it looks very, they look very flat, I guess, you know, you don't really see the texture, but I guess it does depend on the lighting because I do see it here. I clearly just love the swatchers like photos because I feel like I'm just drawn to those the most. They just look so incredibly glowy. Oh my goodness, that is so pretty. But you know what, like even though I don't have anything quite like this, the closest to, you know, these fiery flakies that I have, I think is Solar Unicorn Skin, but obviously the flakies just do not compare. But I don't want to get it just because it's another like opal polish, you know, but it's so pretty. Oh man, I would say so far this is the most tempting to add to my wish list, but I'm gonna stay strong and not put it. But we'll see if, you know, I remember it later and I'm like, wait, no, let me get it before I miss my chance. But as far as the other shades here, I mean, I think like maybe this Hearts and Promises Encore shade is like I would like the most. I really like this color combination of this like periwinkle base and the aqua flakies. Like it just looks cute. It's a cute shade. But see, this is definitely a more visually textured with the flakies, where I just kind of don't like it. Yeah, we can just move on. And from here, okay, these magnetics, they are so bright, tempting in a way, but not really, because I already know, even though I have been asking for bright magnetics, I feel like these are almost going to be too bright for me. Where it's like I'm just so pale that it's just not gonna be a flattering color or something. But man, I love how that looks. Oh, that looks so, like, this is so much brighter than Island Pea's glow stick, for example. I would say it's probably the closest to it, but a lot more intense. It is really stunning, but I just know I'm not really gonna wear it, so we'll get out of there. And I feel the same about the Indie Polish by Patti Lopez Blue Water. It's the magnetic shimmer that I love in both of these. Oh my god, the color is so pretty. The base, I feel like, you know, is giving Starly's Oceanic Moonlight, for example, but the shimmer is a bit more teal leaning, which I really like. Oh my god, so stunning. But we don't need it. And for the shades on the bottom, the Jen Berries is kind of looking like Cirque's Say Chic to me, maybe a little bit darker and with a larger sort of hollow flaky going on, while the Cirque is more of that, you know, dainty hollow sparkle. Maybe this is also a bit more opaque, but kind of a similar vibe to that. I think this might be brighter than Mooncat's Merkitten, so, but I don't know, I mean, those are kind of similar, I guess. Maybe this is an in-between of them. It's cute, but I already have multiples. And the other Jen Berries, there was a button, I pushed it. This one is also giving like a familiar vibe. I mean, I guess I can see how the base is a little similar to Cirque's Velveteen maybe, but actually no, wait, I think I'm thinking of a potion polish, but I'm forgetting the name. I don't remember if it's Cabin by the Lake or something else, but I think that might be the closest to this, being a dark teal with like the shimmer and the hollow flakies. Yeah, it's giving that familiar vibe. Really pretty. But yeah, I basically have it already, so we can move on. And okay, from here, that lurid, heavily foreshadowed redemption arc, it looks stunning, but I already know that I just don't love greens with a pink shimmer as much, and it's so weird, right? Because obviously I love pink, and green and pink together is so cute. It's giving, you know, watermelon kind of vibes. The combo usually is very pretty, but just on me, it's one of those that I wouldn't like it as much, but I love the photo, right? It's stunning there. And the other laureate is kind of giving, you know, pandemonium from Mooncat, so definitely don't need that. The Linby, a little hot-headed, maybe is like the most tempting of this bunch here, but it's also like not familiar to something that I have, because I feel like I don't have a shade quite like this, but it's just pretty simple in its finish, you know what I mean? Where it's just a shimmer and like a dainty hollow. I love the base color, but, and you know, the combo with the gold shimmer I think is like extra pretty. I always love that sort of combination. But yeah, I also don't need it. And this Moth and Moon Abu, I feel like this looks like the one from earlier that I was like, oh, this is a darker Love Bomb type of shade, but this is the magnetic version basically. So it's interesting. I'm pretty sure this is the rebrand from Schlee. I do like their new packaging and vibe, or maybe not packaging because I think the bottles are the same, but the logo, that I think is really pretty. But yeah, not really into that shade, so we can keep going. And okay, let me look at this. Nailed it. That looks so cute. Mint condition. Oh my god, you're joking. That looks so cute. I love a mint for the winter time. Oh my gosh, and I love this like glitter mix, but there's something about it that like I don't love actually. And funny enough, I think it's that pink shimmer. I know that seems so silly, but yeah, I think if this was a typical, like slightly more opaque or more of a true Crelly in the same base color, the same glitter mix, I would immediately add it to my wish list. But the shimmer in this is like almost so, I don't want to say overpowering, but it's just, I think it just kind of distracts or takes away from the glitter mix in my opinion. So I will be skipping it, but it's so, like, I love the concept. So yeah, we can just get out of there. And unfortunately, not really feeling anything else. Maybe this Nirvana Beauty could be a potential alternative to Mooncat's Meowtech Industries, but I think this is a bit more blue and less of that teal green kind of color, and the shimmer doesn't look as smooth if I'm remembering it correctly, but you know, it's close enough. So we can just move on to the next two rows here. And okay, I would say from here, the one that is catching my eye the most is this Polish Cinder Snap. Oh my god, that shimmer looks magical. It is kind of giving Flight of the Monarchs a little bit, especially in lower lighting where that orange shimmer just like really takes charge. But this does look like, you know, it has more of a pinky, yeah, it's a warm rosewood base. That is so pretty. Oh my gosh. You guys know I've been like asking for, or like hoping for, manifesting, some might say, a pink version of Flight of the Monarchs. I would say that this is like really close, but it is like a little bit darker maybe than what I was envisioning. But it's still gorgeous. Like, oh my gosh, I love how warm it just has, this warm glow, you know? Wow, look at how dark it looks there. It's like almost coppery. Yeah, there's something, you know, about the shade of pink that it is very pretty, but I think what I'm envisioning is just something a bit brighter. So I'm gonna hold out hope that, you know, that polish will be made, and it's definitely very different from Flight of the Monarchs. And I'm also gonna hope that I don't regret skipping this one because it looks so stunning. Like, I imagine if you are someone who is disappointed in Flight of the Monarchs, like this would probably be a better alternative. But actually, I don't know, because it still is very like, you know, that shimmer does take over in certain lighting, but I think there's just more contrast between the shimmer and the base in this one. Oh man, that is so pretty. And the only other one that I think is like, you know, reminding me of something is this Nirvana Beauty Blue Spruce, which is kind of looking like Island Peas Rock Candy, but as a linear hollow instead of a magnetic. The only other maybe familiar one, actually, now that I am looking at it a little bit more, is this Nothing Basic, where I was gonna say this is sort of like in theory or in description similar to Holo Taco's Precious Cargo, but I think this has a bit of a lighter brown base. Precious Cargo, from what I remember, was a bit darker, like a considerable amount darker, almost like a brown black kind of color, but with a really strong pink shimmer. So, you know, kind of a similar vibe, but not really one that I am interested in getting. So we can move on. And okay, from here there's definitely some pretty shades that are kind of standing out. I mean, the polish looks beautiful, but also familiar to maybe a KB shimmer or maybe even Polish for Days. I think, well, the one that I'm thinking of, I think was called Catch You Later Dudes, and that I think had a stronger flaky, but it's a similar kind of color and vibe, you know. So we've seen it before, we probably will see it again. But the Paint It Pretty polish, this little Crelly, oh okay, wait. Respectfully, never mind, I didn't realize that it was very like red, white, and blue. It's inspired by Bazooka Bubblegum, so okay, I get it, but I don't know, I thought it was like a pink and blue. I think that would have been cuter, or at least, you know, I would have liked it more that way. So tempting for a second, almost got me, but we're safe. And then from the bottom row, the duos, the Penelope Loose, Day to Celebrate, and Opening Gifts, this looks so beautiful. It's kind of just giving a lighter version of Island Peas Shooting Star, but it is really stunning, and it looks so gorgeous with like the topper, just, you know, instant galaxy vibes. That is so pretty, but also don't need that in my collection. And the other duo, the Pepper Polish, Fairy Bloom, and Butterfly Charm. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. It's cute, but then at the same time, I'm not crazy about the base. I feel like the base is a little too dark. Like, I love that the magnetic shimmer is the same color as the butterfly glitters. Such a cute detail. I mean, I can understand how in some angles they can get kind of lost, right? So they stand out against the darker base, but I don't know, I feel like the base could have been a little bit lighter while still being, you know, blue. I do like how it looks here, right? Like, you know, some photos, I guess, or a certain lighting, it's like I see it, I see the vision, very cute, but yeah, I mean, I already have my butterfly topper from Fauve. I don't have a pink magnetic topper though. That would be nice to have because, oh my god, I would put that on everything. But yeah, so pretty shades, but you know, now that I see them up close, I'm like, okay, that was enough. So we can just move on. Okay, and from here, this other pepper polish, Enchanted Confection, that looks so stunning. Like, it's just so vibrant, super shifty too. Okay, it's very, I mean, okay, yeah, this is the holiday contribution. Definitely see that now. And I unfortunately don't love it as much. If you could see more of that like purple all the time, maybe a little bit more tempting, but seeing the red and green, I don't know, there's something about it that I just don't love, so we can get out of there. And the only other one that's kind of giving a familiar vibe here is the Phoenix on the bottom, but At Least I'm Alive. I don't remember the name of it, but I feel like I just saw on Reddit, like within the last week or so, somebody share a polish from Sassy Sauce where it's like the blue toned version of Cockadoodle Doom. So, you know, having more of that indigo kind of base color, but still with this really intense like red shimmer. It's kind of giving a similar vibe to that. And actually, before we move on, the other Phoenix, I'd Rather Be Dry. Now that I'm looking at it, the bottle shot in that top left is reminding me so much of KB Shimmers of Quartz. I think this might be a little bit more pink, at least with the flash photos. So it has like a pink reflective glitter while the KB is silver, but in natural lighting, I guess, you know, every other kind of lighting, it looks like the closest to that probably. So just wanted to point that out. But yeah, now we can move on to the next two rows here. And I'm not really feeling the polishes here, so we can just keep going. From here, I would say the Sassy Cats Mocha Tarot Swirl is kind of looking the closest to Crack's Ghoul's Garden, though I think this has a bit more of a dusty kind of base. Maybe it's like a mix of Ghoul's Garden and Mooncat's Clair de Lune, which just came out, because that one's like very like a dusty mauve purple. And yeah, I'm not really interested in the other shades. I mean, the Sassy Sauce Cinderella, that looks so glowy. Oh, I guess it's just that one photo though, because not that these other photos aren't glowy, but I mean, this almost looks like it's over a white base or something, you know, it's just like so much more intense. But these photos, it's kind of giving Island Peas, what is it called? Pool Party, I think is the blue one, which I ended up, you know, destashing because there's something about the combo. A pink shimmer is so interesting because it's like, I love it in theory, but I'm very picky apparently about the bases that it could be in. So yeah, if it's a pink shimmer in a green or blue base, chances are I usually don't like it. So yeah, unfortunately we can move on. And from here, I would say the one that I think is most interesting is the Wetcha Pluto. This planet series, or their solar system series, has been so beautiful. I love the magnetic pigment in this one. The base is not my favorite. Like it's an interesting contrast, right? Like I appreciate how shifty it is in that way. But yeah, I would say the magnetic pigment in this is my favorite part of the polish. So even though it would definitely be very unique to my collection, I don't really feel that compelled to add it. And yeah, unfortunately, again, not really feeling anything else. So we can move on to the last two rows. And yeah, I don't know if it's just been me or this month, but I am not really interested. Even the Witch Cult, the Animal Crossing inspired ones, like this is Mr. Nook. But I don't know, it's just not really giving much. So yeah, I am not really feeling anything. And so I'm pretty sure for my wish list, I don't have anything. I hate that it just glitches out like that. But yeah, there's nothing in my wish list. So that wraps up my window shopping for this month's HellaHandmade. As always, I would love to know your thoughts on this month's offerings because I felt like it was kind of rough, or maybe it's not totally fair to say it was all rough, but at least the very beginning and the very end, it was a little hard. I felt like I just kind of kept scrolling. So as far as the actual window shopping goes, I don't know, it just didn't seem as exciting. But as you saw, there were a couple of shades in the middle portion, I think, that really stood out to me, that I thought were really pretty, but I didn't end up with anything in my wish list. To be completely honest, I still am thinking about that Hula Moon shade because it is just so beautiful, but I really am trying to stay strong and not get it just because it is a pretty opalescent kind of polish, because I think realistically it is one of those shades that I wouldn't end up wearing as often, or that I just might not like it on me, but it's something that I would love to just have in my collection because it's pretty, you know? So I can acknowledge it, and I'm just gonna try my best to forget about it and not get it, and also not feel bad later on, because even if I do end up regretting it, I was thinking that I feel like it's kind of easy to recreate, because there are some brands that sell those Mylar flakies that you can just like add on top of your polish, and that's assuming we just don't see another, you know, potential dupe for it down the line. So it's not incredibly unique. I feel like we probably have seen something like it before, so we will see something like it again. But yeah, I would love to know if you have anything in your wish list, or if you were successful with window shopping this month. Let me know down below so we can chat about it. But thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!